What it do? Welcome to the J-Boy Sports Podcast. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. If you don't love the content, you can still do those things because you can help a brother out because a brother would help you out. Make sure that you comment. I will reply. Ball is life. I will definitely reply. I promise you. Make sure that you comment. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our great, glorious content. And lastly, hang on towards the end of this video so that you can actually see some of our other suggested great, glorious content. Matt Barnes checks the Kobe slander. A lot of people talking heavy on Kobe Bryant, really trying to diss Bean in any way possible. There have been a few that I said, listen, I think this was just a mistake. We talk about people like T-Mac, who I actually believe is truly a brother to Kobe and will be for the rest of his life. I just think he made a mistake. He got challenged and he, slipped up and, went a little too far in the situation. But I don't think I don't even think for a second that he actually was, serious about dissing Kobe Bryant. I don't see that from T-Mac. So what that means is that there are some other people, though, that I do not give that same or grant that same leniency to. These people are definitely trying to pull Kobe Bryant's name into, an abyss and hopefully bury him. But that's not going to happen on my watch. And also, it's not going to happen on Matt Barnes' watch. So what we're going to do is we're going to listen to Matt Barnes. We're going to listen to him say, listen, enough is enough with this crap. Leave my brother Kobe alone. And then we'll come back and, talk about what he said. Check it out.
To me, Kobe is the second greatest player of all time. Period.
Guys out here talking crazy about Bean right now.
None of this weird talk was going on while he was here. I work for ESPN. I work for Fox. Some of these big machines, when you have people talking about the greatness of players, it's not that I don't respect it, I just don't go by it. And I think a lot of former players don't go by it. You got to listen to what your peers are talking about. It's crazy how when you look at ESPN, Kobe's always on the outside of 10. But when you talk to, there's plenty of clips on YouTube when you're talking to some of the guys that went to war before or after or with them, they're like, yeah, Coach, some Kobe's 2, Kobe's 3, Kobe's top 5. So again, I'm not saying don't listen to the people outside because there's some very qualified people, but when it comes to like legacy and greatness in a sport, I would tend to lean towards the players because you see it day in and day out and know what it takes to lace them up every single day and play through what he played through and do what he did. With the bigger companies and machines and talking heads, there's favorites, there's narratives they stick to, there's dislikes they have, and let's keep it real, like before Kobe died, like he was a hit or miss as far as kind of popularity with some of the through and the way people perceived his energy at times. So there was already a lot of kind of but I think after he died, like the real ones spoke up to speak about his greatness, but I feel like there's a lot of other people that will speak to stir up. And it's crazy that it's former players, you know what I mean? So I just said what I said because like none of you guys was talking when he was here. And the coulda, woulda, shoulda, and the disrespect with the Powell shoulda won the fight. Like it's just like, come on, y'all. But like, let's really remember. Let's look at the numbers, and we've all been there with him or against him. Like, let's keep it real.
So, shout out to Matt Barnes for keeping it real. Actually saying the truth about what people are doing to Kobe Bryant, how they're slandering his name. It's really getting out of control, man. And he mentioned a lot of stuff. One of the things he mentioned is that he was on ESPN, he was on Fox, and he's been on these shows. And he said people basically, it's not that he doesn't respect these people at all. And he said some of these people are really qualified and have the credentials, which I respect because I like that he's not immediately just slandering all of them at the same time. And even people like myself, I create a channel. I don't know if I can show that I took a class to do journalism or talk about things, but it's not rocket science. And I have taken classes actually to do journalism and stuff like that. But ultimately, if you know something is true, you go with what you know to be true, you use the facts to support it, and then you give your argument. And that's easy. That's how you do it one-on-one style, right? That's public speaking 101. That's debating 101. And at the end of the day, a lot of these guys aren't doing that for Kobe Bryant. They're not using common sense. They make up arguments that actually make no sense. And when you ask them to be more specific, they can't. So, for example, I've had people say to me, I say, if you're just watching Kobe Bryant and LeBron James, for example, and I know you're like, why? Some of you might be like, why you always go to LeBron? To me, a lot of it is because of LeBron. And you can comment and talk about what you think, but to me, the Kobe slander stems from trying to elevate LeBron and discredit Kobe Bryant, mainly. It's not because of Tim Duncan. It's not because of Magic Johnson that much. Sometimes I hear certain things from people, but it's not from their fans. You never hear Tim Duncan fans saying, Kobe wasn't that good. Because you'd be a clown to say that. That's like me saying Tim Duncan wasn't that good. Am I doing drugs? What? If it wasn't for Tim Duncan, I would have had like 10 championships for the Lakers. Come on, man. Like, Tim Duncan's not that good. Nah, he was just the one guy that kept beating us ever so often. That kept us from winning 4 in a row. What type of drugs are we doing around here? Come on, man. But that's what LeBron James fans will say straight up with a straight face. So it's them. It's them. It's the Goblins. But at the end of the day, they're just making stuff up about Kobe Bryant. So if I ask them, I say, listen, you watch Kobe Bryant and LeBron James play a game of basketball. Who are you going to come away saying is the better player from just watching it? Just watching it. And I say, well, it doesn't matter. LeBron's better than Kobe. I say, if you're just watching both of them play, just watching them play in a game, it could be against each other or against other teams, and you're watching it side by side, what are you going to say, man, LeBron James does this much better than Kobe Bryant? And they really can't answer that. They can't be specific. And my thing is, if you think LeBron James is better, for example, or whoever else you think is better, fine. You could say that. But can you support it? Can you support it? And if you can't support it, just say you like that person better. I can deal with that. I'm a big boy. I can handle that. But when you start lying on Kobe Bryant, and like Matt Barnes said, this woulda, coulda, shoulda stuff, get the heck out of here, man. Because no, you weren't saying that when he was alive. Kobe is one of the only people in sports, period, that living walked into a room, and I'm sure everybody was like, holy crap, Kobe's here. And I'm talking about business people who also have a lot of money, NBA owners, NFL owners, Hall of Fame NFL, NBA players, hockey players, baseball. Kobe's one of the only guys, he walks into the room and everything stops. And he has the respect of everybody in that room. Everybody. Not just fans, everybody. But you're going to tell me that all of a sudden now is the time to disrespect him? Because you would have never done that. His level was higher than yours to these people that are disrespecting him now. You could not disrespect him without looking goofy. So now that he's dead, it's open season. You could say stupid stuff. And there's a lot of people saying stupid stuff. I'm not even going to go through the names right now. I want to. Gilbert, Arenas, fake fan. But, and again, I actually like Gil to an extent. But when he talks about Kobe, you're not a fan of Kobe Bryant. So we're not accepting you on the club. We are not accepting you. We're not accepting you. You're outside trying to get in and you're not getting in. Over my dead body, personally. Like you, Gil, but this club is exclusive. You lost your privileges. You're kicked out of the Garden of Eden, so to speak. Crazy analogy. I know that's ridiculous, but I'm just saying. He's kicked out. Same way God kicked out Adam and Eve for sinning, you sinned. You had one thing that you didn't have to do. Don't disrespect the apple. Kobe. Kobe's the apple in this case. Don't disrespect him. You disrespected him. You're out. You listen to the snakes for clicks and views. You're out. But, and Matt Barnes told the truth again. People say, why didn't Kobe do this? Why didn't Kobe win this? Why didn't he win that award? All the awards people vote on is because they hated him. It's that simple. He knew that. They create stupid narratives. They speak to stir the pot. They just say dumb stuff about him. And like Matt Barnes said, I mean, look, people be like, look at the numbers. Kobe wasn't an efficient field goal shooter. Who the heck cares? Whoever won a game just because they were efficient from the field? Like, I mean, it helps. Don't get me wrong. But you can still win a basketball game shooting 40%. I know because I watched the Lakers do it. Win a ring shooting 40%. Because it doesn't matter your field goal percentage. There's so much more to the game of basketball. When you even score those points matters. You can shoot 30% for the game, hit the last 5 shots. When your team needs it, the game's over, you win. Come on, man. What are we talking about? So, all this Kobe hate and dislike is disgusting. And Matt Barnes, thank you so much, my brother, for actually speaking up and saying that this stuff has to stop. Because ultimately, you can look at the stats that matter. Who scored 81 points in a game? 60 before the other team scored 60. Averaged 40 for a month multiple times. Phil Jackson had to walk up and say, yo, could you stop averaging 40 because we're losing the big fella? Talk about those numbers. Talk about 21 straight points in the finals to make sure that they didn't go home against the Celtics. Talk about those numbers. They don't want to talk about those numbers. Because that's winning. They don't want to talk about winning. They want to talk about losers putting up stats. Get the heck out of here, man. Nobody wants to hear that. So at the end of the day, the Kobe slander has to stop. Matt Barnes is keeping it real. These people hate him. They actually hate him. I heard on ESPN the other day, some fill-in for Stephen A. Smith because I guess he's on vacation. Some weirdo said, oh, yeah, if I had it my way, Kobe wouldn't even be a top 4 scorer. In whatever time frame that he was talking about. He put Steph Curry, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and somebody else over Kobe. I don't even remember the other name, and I don't care. Because the truth is, ain't none of them better than Kobe Bryant at scoring. And those guys that he just named, they're not better than Allen Iverson at scoring. They're not better than Tracy McGrady at scoring. Okay? And I'm not saying that as a matter of fact, like they weren't that good. No, AI and T-Mac were elite at scoring the basketball. The problem is Kobe Bryant was in another galaxy scoring the basketball. He wasn't human scoring the basketball in his peak prime. When he was, just going out there acting crazy because he just didn't have nobody help him. So he had to do what he had to do. Stop with the slander. That's what he did. Scoring is what he did for a living, but they just have no filter, and they don't care. But that's okay, because we're going to make y'all care, and we're going to call it out. I'm going to call it out. You say something dumb, Nick, right, wrong, you're going to be on here. Shannon Sharp hasn't really been talking about LeBron James. I give him credit. When he's not on ESPN, he's actually focusing on a lot of other things and still getting clicks and views because he is entertaining. But the moment any of you clowns, and I don't mean you, Shannon. I'm going to leave you out of this, Shannon. I actually respect you. And Gil, I do respect you, but you are on some clown stuff, bruh. Clown stuff. That's why McCants and Swaggy got to get in your behind every once in a while. Pause, no bad boy. Act right, Gil. Come on, man. And I mean that respectfully. No, man to man, come on, act better than that. That's a better way to say it. Don't say act right, that's disrespectful. Let me be respectful, Gilbert. Please do better. I said please. And then maybe we'll let you back in the fan club, man. Because we're forgiving. We can forgive. T-Mac's back in. I did a video on that. Make sure you check it out. So thank you very much for your time. What do you think, man? Do you think this slander is out of control? Do you think these people don't know what the heck they're talking about? They just want to hate on Kobe as much as possible. Do you think they didn't like him and they still don't like him? I definitely believe that. Jason Whitlock, you. Come on, Jason. I'm not one of those people that can't stand Jason Whitlock. I'm really not. I think everybody has their good points, and I think Jason Whitlock does. I know he's a Christian. I'm a Christian. That's two things we have in common. And he cares very deeply about his faith. I'll give him that. But he's another one that just slanders Kobe over and over and over again. And the truth is, I know he probably wasn't nice to you, Jason. If I know a couple things about Jason Whitlock, he does think a lot of these players are jocks who aren't that smart, who say stupid things or do stupid stuff or just go along to get along. And he has a point. But Kobe wasn't like that. He was actually smart. Somebody that could actually outthink you. And I think that's really, Jason, why you didn't like him. And I'm just being respectful. One Christian brother to another. I think you need to pray on that one, brother. I think you do. So, we're going to leave it here. Like I said, what do you think? You think I'm tripping? Do you think me and Matt Barnes are tripping? Do you think Matt Barnes is low-key the GOAT for coming out and protecting our boy. What do you think? Hit me up in the comment section. I will reply. Ball is life. Like, share, and subscribe. We got the heat coming all summer long. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of that heat. Hang on towards the end of this video because we have some other suggested videos that we know you love. I thank you very much. Especially appreciate the fact that you listened this long. I'm very thankful, very humble. Much love. Tell that somehow you'll never get over leaving me. And when you feel like